All right, so we are going to work on comparing some fractions. We're just going to practice a little bit, make sure we have the skill down, because tomorrow we're going to move on. So today we talked about in class, and yesterday on your homework you talked about the butterfly method. Okay, so we are going to just do a couple of practice problems. So what I need from you is to take your page and divide it into 4 sections. One down the middle, one across the middle, just like that. Okay? All right, so the first 2 fractions we're going to compare are 7/12 and 2/3. All right, so one of our strategies for comparing fractions is to compare the fraction to half, right? So if we have 7/12, well, what's half of 12? 6. And so how many 12ths are equal to 1/2? 6/12. So is this more than half or less than half? If 6/12 is equal to half. This is more than half, okay? Remember how we talked about with odd numbers, there's going to be 2 different numbers that you add together that are going to be as close as you can get to half. So like, for example, of 7, you're going to have 3 and 4. For 9, you're going to have 5 and 4. For 13, you're going to have 6 and 7. So for 3, what would we have? 1 and 2. So 1/3 is going to be less than half, and 2/3 is going to be more than half. Okay, so in this case, both of our fractions are more than half. That strategy didn't help us. Okay. One of our other strategies is to see if it's 1 away. Remember how we talked about consecutive numbers, 1 away from the whole? So in this case, is 2/3 1/3 away from the whole? Yes. Is 7/12 one part away from the whole? No, it's not. So that didn't help us either. All right, so let's do the butterfly method, because that works every time. All right, so remember, we need to circle this way. We need to circle this way. And we need to add our antennas. And you can draw your antennas any way you want. Don't feel obligated to draw them in just one way. And then we're going to come and bring the body down like this. Okay, so what is, let's do it in red. Oh, green. What is, how do I get this number right here? I need to multiply what? 12 times 2, which equals 24. And how do I get what goes right here? I need to multiply what? 7 times 3. What is 7 times 3? 21. All right, now that we have what goes underneath our antennas, what goes underneath right here? What do I need to multiply? I need to multiply the 2 denominators. Look, it even points at those 2 denominators. So what's 12 times 3? 36. All right, so now I'm going to make my 2 equivalent fractions. Well, what fraction is equivalent to 7/12? What is it? See if you can find it. Is it 21/26? No, Ms. Hargrove, it's 21/36. Okay, so that 21/36 is exactly equivalent to 7/12. All right. Over here, how many 36 are equal to 2/3? 24/36. So now, because we have the same denominator, we can just compare by looking at the numerator. So what is the bigger fraction here? Is it 2/3 or is it 7/12? Look at what they're equivalent to. It is 2/3. So I'm going to draw my comparison sign just like that. Remember, 2 dots goes on the side with the bigger fraction, 1 dot goes on the side with the smaller fraction. So I can write down here 7/12 is less than 2/3. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Let's do 3/10 and 1/3. 1/4. 1/4. All right, first step. I want you to do the first step. Do the first step for me. We're going to circle just like this, right? And we're going to circle just like this. We're making the wings of our butterfly. Okay, and let's draw our antennas, and let's draw the bottom of the body. Okay, so how do I get what goes under this antenna over here? How do I get what goes right here? 10 times 1 is 10. And 4 times 3 is how we get what goes under this antenna, right? So what is 4 times 3? It is 12. All right. How do I get what goes right down here in this bottom part of the body? How do I get what goes there? Do I need to multiply the numerators? Do I need to multiply times these two numbers? Nope, just going to multiply by these two right here. So 10 times 4 is 40. Okay. So what fraction is equivalent to 1/4? 10/40ths. So think about this for me for a second. Think about how 10/40ths looks like 1/4. Let's see if we can prove how this is equivalent. If I divide the top and the bottom by 10 and simplify that fraction, I'm going to just lose a 0. And what does that fraction become? 1/4. Okay, so these two fractions are indeed equivalent. Okay, if I should be able to simplify this fraction and get this fraction. All right, so what is equivalent to 3/10? It is 12/40ths. Okay, so which one's bigger, 12/40ths or 10/40ths? Well, 12/40ths is bigger, and we're able to look at the numerator only because the denominators are the same. If I have two wholes that are both divided into 40 parts, and I have 10 in one part and 12 in another part, well, this is indeed going to be bigger. So that means that 3/10 is going to be bigger than 1/4. So I'm going to put my 2 dots and my 1 dot, and I'm going to connect them. All right. So that means that 3/10 is greater than 1/4. All right. I'm going to give you one, and I want you to do these two by yourself, okay? And I want you to pause the video, and then you can come back. All right. So let's do 4/5, and let's do 2/3 again. And then actually just do that one really quick. Pause the video and then come back and I'll work it out. Pause it. Pause it. Okay. So I'm going to work it out for you, and you see if you did exactly what I did, and if you didn't, correct yours as I do it. So I'm going to circle these, right? I'm circling across and up, across and up. I'm going to add my antennas. I'm going to add the bottom part of my body. How do I get what goes up there? I'm going to multiply 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay? How do I get what goes right here? Well, I'm finding a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply these two denominators. Well, what's 5 times 3? 15. 15. So now I need to find my two equivalent fractions. Well, I know that what's under my antenna is going to give me the numerator for this fraction. So this is going to be 12, and the two denominators will be the same. They're both going to be 15. So 12/15. Over here, I know that what's under this antenna is going to give me my other numerator. So this is going to be 10/15. All right, so which one's bigger, 12/15 or 10/15? 12/15. So that means that what is bigger than what? 4/5 is bigger than 2/3. So my 2 dots goes on the greater side of the fraction. My 1 dot goes on the smaller fraction. Just going to connect the dots. All right. So that means that 4/5 is greater than 2/3. All right. Let's do one more. I want you to do this one by yourself again. Let's do 1/2 and 8/14. All right, do that one, pause it, and then come back. Okay, again, I want you to, if you did not do it the way that I'm doing it right now, I want you to correct yours as we're doing it together, okay? So what is, I need to circleize. What kind of words are you making up here, Miss Hartgrove? Okay, I need to cross circle, right? I need to circle the opposite numerator and denominator, opposite numerator and denominator. Draw my antennas, draw the bottom part of the body. Okay, so what's the first thing I do? How do I find what goes here? Well, I'm going to multiply 2 times 8. What is 2 times 8? 16. How do I get what goes right here? Multiply 14 times 1, which is 14. Okay. How do I get what goes down here? Remember, I'm finding a common denominator to have for my two equivalent fractions. So what's that going to be? 2 times 14, which is 28. All right. So how do I know what goes as the numerator over here? Where do I look? I look right up here at this antenna on this side, and it is 16. Denominator will be the same for both, and it is 28. Over here, it's going to be 14 28ths. Well, which one's bigger, 14 28ths or 16 28ths? 16 28ths is bigger. So I'm going to put my 2 dots over here, my 1 dot over here, and I'm going to connect them. So if I want to rewrite this fraction to show what's greater than or less than, I'm going to put 1/2 is less than 8/14. All right? You do have a quiz today, so go ahead and complete that. The other resources that are listed on today's homework, they're not anything you need to copy. It's just things that you need to take a look at that will help you understand more. Okay? All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the